For topic two, we're going to talk about estimation with decimals, and you need to remember this. We've talked about estimation before in a previous section in chapter one, but this is the process of finding a quick approximate answer by rounding numbers first and then mentally performing a particular calculation. That's called estimation. So it's where you kind of round your numbers first, and that allows you to do quick mental math to find some sum or difference generally. You could also do this with multiplication and division. Okay? So for example 3, it says estimate each sum or difference by rounding to the nearest whole number, compare the actual sum or difference, and determine if you have an underestimate or an overestimate. So these problems are really secretly two or three problems in one, okay? So directions say to estimate first by rounding to the nearest whole number, then we'll do the actual calculation and determine if our estimation is an over or underestimate, okay? So a few things going on here. No big deal. We are mathematicians. We got this, okay? So for part A, we have 48.1 plus 326.97, okay? Well, 48.1, if we're rounding this officially, the 8 is the rounding digit. The digit to the right of that is a 1, so that tells me to round down. So that's saying this is closer to 48 than 49. So this is 48. And then to that, I need to add the rounded version of 326.97. Well, the 6 is in the ones place, so that's the whole number. The nearest whole number is the ones place. To the right of that, I have a 9. That tells me to round up. So we're basically saying, is this closer to 326 or 327? Well, it's going to be closer to 327. So these numbers are fairly easy to add. Okay. We could even make this easier if we had rounded to the nearest tens place, but we're going to do what we were told. So we have 327. We want to add 48. So if we were to add 50, that would make it 377, and then just take away 2 would be 375. So let's see what we get here. So we're adding, don't forget your plus sign. So 7 plus 8 is 15. Keep the 5, carry a 1. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. And then there's nothing to add to the 3. So we get that our estimate is 375. And again, by rounding, we just made it a little bit easier for ourselves, which we're going to completely counteract by doing the actual sum over here. Okay? So we have 48.1 plus 326.97. So 326.97 plus 48.1. I'm going to go ahead and add in a filler 0. Now, the only reason for putting the 326 first and the 48 second is just I personally like to have the number with the most digits at the top. Okay, so like if I'm adding, it doesn't matter which number I put first or second because addition's commutative. So I did the one with more digits first, that's all. All right, so let's go ahead and add 7 plus 0 is 7. 9 plus 1 is 10, so I keep a 0 and I carry a 1. Don't forget to drop down your decimal, okay? 8 plus 6 is 14 plus 1 is 15, so I keep a 5, carry a 1. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7, and there's nothing to add to the 3, so I drop it down. So this is my actual sum. So you can see our estimate was 375. Our actual sum is 375.07. So we're only off by 700ths. This is really, really close here. But I would say that my estimate is an underestimate. Very slight, but it is an underestimate because it's a little bit less than the actual sum. All right, let's do the same thing with subtraction. So we want to round to the nearest whole number, which is the ones place. So I have 18.09 minus 0.746, okay? So if I look at 18.09, the 8 is in the ones place, and directly to the right of that I have a 0, which tells me to round down, meaning this is closer to 18 than it is to 19. And then if I look at 0.746, the 0 is actually in the ones place. And to the right of that, I have a 7, which does tell me to round up. So we're basically saying, is this number closer to 1 or is it closer to 0? It's closer to 1. And luckily, 18 minus 1, that's a piece of cake. That's 17. So our estimate is 17. Now let's go ahead and compare that to the actual difference. So we have 18.09 minus 0.746. I'm going to go ahead and put in my necessary filler 0, okay? And then I start subtracting. And if you don't hate me already, you're going to hate me now because guess what? You get to borrow again, okay? So we cannot take 6 from 0. I have to borrow from the 9, okay? So the 9 becomes an 8 and the 0 becomes a 10. Now 10 minus 6 I can do. 10 minus 6 is 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. And doggone it, you got to borrow again. I cannot take 7 from 0. So I borrow from the 8. It becomes a 7. The 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. Drop down your decimal. 7 minus 0 is 7. And then there's nothing to subtract from the 1. So I bring it down. So this is my actual difference, okay? And if I compare my estimate to my actual difference, they're again really, really close. We're off by 344 thousandths, okay? But either way you slice it, my estimate was a little bit less than my actual sum. So I would again say that the estimate is an underestimate. So don't sleep on estimating. It can make your life easier. I think a lot of us tend to do estimating, like if we go to the grocery store or we're trying to figure out our budget for the month, sometimes we'll estimate. So like if I go to the grocery store and I'm taking cash in with me, I'll always round my values to make sure I'm going to have enough money at the end. And a lot of times I'll round up regardless, so I have enough money for tax. We do this with our bills, so I always estimate what I think my bills are going to be at the end of the month so that I make sure my paycheck's going to cover everything. So estimation, we do it a lot of times in real life, okay?